Imagine this, a man who survived not one, but two nuclear attacks in his lifetime. For most of us, the mind rejects this idea. Science and statistics tell us that surviving near ground zero is almost impossible. But what happened to Japan's Tsutomu Yamaguchi is not a scene from a sci-fi movie, it's a breathtaking reality. A story not only of luck, but of how the human body and spirit can defy the most terrifying laws of physics. In 1945, the war was reaching its final stage. The United States had created the atomic bomb under the Manhattan Project. No one truly understood its power because this wasn't ordinary explosives. This was energy born from the splitting of atoms, heat as intense as the surface of the sun. Tsutomu Yamaguchi, an engineer at Mitsubishi, was in Hiroshima for work. Being there was a professional duty, but returning to Nagasaki was a personal need. His wife and his young child were waiting for him. On the morning of August 6th, Yamaguchi was walking toward Hiroshima Station. At exactly 8:15 a.m., the sky exploded into a blinding white light. Physics tells us that light travels faster than sound, so he saw the flash first, and then the destruction followed. It felt as though the air itself had caught fire. Yamaguchi was about 3 kilometers from ground zero, a logical distance that saved him from being vaporized instantly. Any closer, and his body would have simply disappeared. The shockwave lifted him off his feet and slammed him into the ground. He was burned and injured, but his vital organs were intact. That night, Hiroshima looked like a living hell. Yamaguchi survived in a small shelter. And by the next morning, despite his injuries, he made a decision that defies belief. He would return to Nagasaki, a wounded man barely clinging to life, traveling across a devastated country. Because when death approaches, the human heart searches for its loved ones. He reached Nagasaki by train. On August 9th, he went to his office and tried to explain to his boss what had happened in Hiroshima. But his boss dismissed it. And honestly, anyone would. Because at that time it was impossible to imagine that one single bomb could erase an entire city. But while his boss was still arguing, the room suddenly filled with the same blinding white flash. This was the Fat Man bomb, more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima. And once again, fate placed Yamaguchi roughly 3 kilometers from ground zero. Again, far enough to survive, but close enough to be thrown into chaos. The shockwave ripped open the bandages on his fresh burns. But this time, he knew exactly what was happening. He immediately threw himself to the ground, letting the blast pass over him. His first experience had just saved his life again. Yamaguchi ran home terrified of what he might find. By a miracle, his wife and child had survived. They had taken shelter in the basement, protected from the heat and the radiation. In the days that followed, Yamaguchi suffered from severe radiation sickness, hair falling out, vomiting, bruises spreading across his body. Radiation had attacked his DNA directly, but his immune system and his will to live were stronger. Slowly, he recovered. Tsutomu Yamaguchi went on to live to the age of 93. His life stands as proof that sometimes reality goes far beyond logic, science, and probability. Many called him unlucky for being bombed twice, but logically, he might have been one of the luckiest men alive. Thousands of people who were healthier, closer to safety, or better prepared died instantly. Yet Yamaguchi defeated death not once, but twice. His story teaches us one thing. The limits of human endurance are far greater than we imagine.